This is the SFL on VFN. Tonight, here in Lexington, the Miners are looking to bounce off of a two-game skid and get back to winning ways. They sit at 500 halfway through their season. Meanwhile, coming off a loss to rivals Carolina, the Florida Storm. Now back with their starting quarterback, Ron Cochran, looking to also get back into winning ways and to make history in doing so. Good evening, folks. I'm Tyler Falk, joined in the booth by my partner, Brett Solberg. Brett, tonight should be a fantastic one as both teams begin the second half of their seasons.
Yeah, and we're looking at two teams that are trying to break through in their respective divisions. You know, it's kind of weird, Tyler, that we're talking about a Florida team that is not dominating the Eastern Division right now. That's currently being led by the Carolina Skyhawks. If Florida can win tonight, that gets them in a deadlock with those guys. Whereas with Lexington, this Jekyll and Hyde season has been hurting them to a 3-3 record. They have ounces of being good, but they need to find consistency with both ends of the field. I wonder what side we're going to see here tonight, Tyler.
All whites for Florida versus all grays for Lexington as we are set for kickoff here in week 8. Here we go. And back deep to return for the Miners. On his way trying to make a spin move is Gabriel Manning, and he gets taken down at the 20-yard line. And that is where starting quarterback Kenny Slider in his second season with the team and the league looks to try and get his offense going and be a little bit more Jekyll than Hyde.
Yeah, this is a guy that you have to be dangerous. There's one game where he can have 5 touchdowns. There's another game where he can have 6 interceptions.
Third most in terms of passing touchdowns in the league with 10. Third worst in terms of interceptions with 12, as that run up the middle goes nowhere. Phoenix Jones on the carry. Let's meet the rest of the Lexington Miner offensive crew. Phoenix Jones partners alongside DN James on halfback. Lars Bazar is the fullback. Alexander West, Alex Jackson, and Gabriel Manning are the wideouts, with DJ Bandit at tight end. And on the line is Phoebe Callens, Zena West, Ricky LaFleur, Jasmine Swift, and Donnie Treverson. And that pass nearly picked off.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where that pass was intending to, but clearly Slider threw probably 4 or 5 yards overthrown to his target. And this is a very quick 3rd and 10. Florida's defense is being stout to start things off.
Be a little bit jumpy, a little bit of jitters here midway through the season. As here comes a blitz. Pass middle for Slider. One-handed snag. Beautiful catch from Alex West. That moves the chains for the first down of the game.
You know, and I mentioned this on the Streets Are Talking show a few weeks back that Eddie and I are both thinking that the new heir apparent has kind of stolen the throne from Gabriel Manning, because Alex West has been an absolute wonder this season, nearly 500 yards. This should be close to that 500-yard mark now this season for him after that fantastic catch, but he has been a dynamo to start things off.
Rewind again here for Lexington. Run right side, nothing doing. Deion James stuck for a loss of 2 on the play. Alessandro Tamaello on the defensive line takes him down. Here's the rest of his teammates: Deontay Stoneville, Landon Odom, and Pete Mitchell on the defensive line. Jesus Smith, Juan Mississippi, Ryan Tobin, the linebackers. Des Ginkel, Ryan Davidson, Evan Carroll, Adam Jones, the corners. Good bump route right side for Phoenix Jones. Gains about 5 yards, and Andrew Francis and Daniel Wright, meanwhile, are the safeties for Florida.
Yeah, and if Lexington wants to get this offense, you know, really kicking in motion in this drive, they need to get that run game going. It's been quiet to start off. They've been stopped at the line. Jones got a little bit there.
They converted on 3rd and 10 just a couple plays ago. This one, 3rd and 7. Slider stepping up in the pocket, running as he throws wide open. Gabe Manning. What a pass from Slider, looking for a chink in the zone, and he found Manning for a first down.
You know what, I got to give credit to the man in motion from that backside. Deion James had a fantastic block on Deontay Stoneville, who would have been the first guy to get to Slider because that pocket was collapsing pretty quick. And Slider did a great job in getting past the pocket near the line of scrimmage just to get that ball off as well. That's a fantastic play from that backfield.
Slider under center here on first down. I formation. They will throw on first down. Pass right side. Another one-handed catch. That one inside the 10. Down to around the 8. It's Manning again.
Yeah, and right now, Lexington's pass game, they're starting to figure out those early holes in Florida's defense. And we know that Florida at times can allow, certain drives to go really, really deep into the action. So far in this season, Florida's middle-of-the-road team in terms of passing at 224 yards, 16th in the league in that defense.
Flipping the formation. This time it's Alex West on the outside. Run right side, out of one tackle, but shoulder down. Right in the nick of time.
And Daniel Wright, he's been around this, I was almost going to say ballpark, but around the football field for quite a while. He knows what ways to stop running backs, and sometimes all you need is a good shoulder block. Bam.
Second and goal now for the Miners. Handoff right side. Stiff arm and a touchdown for Phoenix Jones, and Lexington jump out in front first.
Man, for a team that is 22nd in the league in rushing, that's got to be a fresh breath of a relief to start off the second half of the season. They're not really potent in that run game. I believe just one touchdown in terms of rushing. So finally getting that second one off means that maybe they can get that dual threat offense going, and more importantly, getting the first score against a Florida team is vital. Great work from Lexington to start off the game.
You're correct. Second touchdown of the season for Jones. His 104th of his career. Snap spot kick is up and good. 9 plays, a very effective and efficient 80-yard drive, which took a little over 3 minutes off the clock. And Lexington on the board first, 7-0, with 6:44 to go in the first quarter. We are set for kickoff again here from Lexington. This one will be returned toward the near side, looking for a lane, nothing doing. Unfortunately for Caleb Giffiths. And that is where Ron Cochran, who has been out daddling double pneumonia for the past couple of weeks, he finally makes his return, and he's on the cusp of taking down a historical marker that has stood for many seasons. He could become the #1 overall quarterback in the SFL history with the most passing yards here tonight, but his first pass is nearly picked off by Swift.
Yeah, and early on, Cochran might be looking to go to his more favorite targets out there. He starts off by, I think that was trying to find Ron Haynes, the tight end, on a streak play, and it just didn't quite work out. And having a couple weeks off, you usually go to your favorites first.
Go under center again here on 2nd and 10. Back to throw. 4-man rush. Cochran over the middle again, looking for Haynes again. And again, can't haul in. Another good hit, this time by Travis Arthur, the free safety. And let's quickly round up the Storm offense. Bullet Boletsky is the tailback, with Chris Komisak at fullback. Stephen Bush, Caleb Giffis, and Art Vandley are the wideouts. Rodney Smith partners alongside Ron Haynes at tight end. And Randy Thatt III, Joseph Wade, and Greg McDonaldson man the trenches on the offensive line. 4 wide now here for Ron Cochran. Four-man rush, pass near side, tipped, incomplete. Collins, Philadelphia Collins, knocks it away. 3 passes, 3 incompletions for Ron Cochran in his return.
Yeah, and going back to, coming back from a few weeks off, especially in a case like double pneumonia, coming in, that the first thing you want to do is find your favorite targets again. Out of those 3 targets, 2 of them were to Haynes, 1 of them was to Art Vandalay.
This one's punted away. Fair catch called for inside the 30. Officially at the 19 is Gabriel Manning. And now this Lexington offense will go back to work. A very nice first drive. Brett, what are you looking for here on their second drive? More of the same, or you think you throw a couple extra tricks up your sleeve?
I think they still need to establish that run. Out of that 80-yard drive, 69 of them were passing yards. They can't rely on the pass entirely because Florida sooner or later is going to figure that out.
Pitch right side, looking for a lane and quickly bottled up on that outside. Heads up tackle there by the defensive back for Florida. It brings up second down.
Yeah, it looked to be Evan Carroll with that tackle. And the one of the great things that Florida does is that play recognition. They could be prepared for pass, but when they see the toss, they adjust themselves pretty quickly.
Manning the man in motion from right to left of the offensive formation. Heavy blitz coming from the Storm. Looking middle for Slider, and he just hits the turf in front of the defender. Lucky for him, that was not picked off.
Yeah, looking for someone in that vicinity. Usually in that area is DJ Bandit in there. Look, maybe West was in there too, but the focus right now for Florida has to be, you know, preventing that pass offense from getting any further. And right now, it's pretty good, but it's a 3rd and 9. We've seen Lexington convert one of these already.
We're to the 3rd and 10 and the 3rd and 7 on the first drive. Trips off to the left of Slider, and he's back to pass with a 4-man rush. Uncorking middle. Caught! Running with the defense is Gabriel Manning. He just does it like he's been doing it for the past how many years? Too many years. 15 seasons.
That's 7.5 years of football, Tyler. And one thing is definitely a common thing when you look at Gabriel Manning is just positioning on the routes. He's probably one of the best in the game and getting in front of his corners so that his quarterback has an opportunity just to sling it right to him. Doesn't have to worry about doing anything fancy, but Gabriel Manning, he's got that agility to be fancy too.
Flip out near side to Jones, and he is taken down for a loss by Adam Jones.
And Jones figured that out right away. Once he saw that swing pass sling off of Slider's hands, he went straight to Jones, and that was no problem. You got some Jones to Jones action, J2J.
It definitely wasn't the free state of Jones, let me tell you. 2 wide outs off to the right-hand side. Now Manning again going to go in motion. They like having these 2 wide receivers in tight with this I formation. Slider with plenty of time, looking middle. That one almost caught, incomplete. Looking for the tight end, Rodney Smith.
Yeah, and I like the looks that Slider's going through, and it looked to be Bandit this time on the target. But right now, Slider's looking at the right targets at the right time.
3rd and 11, long 3rd down, longest 3rd down of the night so far. Here for the Lexington. 5-man rush, they send a corner, Slider rolling to his right, now looks for a wide open Gabriel Manning. No defender within 5 yards of him. That's an easy catch and a 1st down.
Florida has got to be careful already halfway through this first quarter, and Gabriel Manning is already inching himself closer and closer to 100 yards himself alone. 93 unofficially right now, and all the targets have been wide open for Manning or have been in close coverage, and his outstretched hand just beats the defender. If Manning gets hot, Lexington's going to take advantage of that and look for him more often.
Slider 6 of 9 to begin the game as he looks to throw near side. Wide open Manning again. These DBs can't cover Lexington tonight.
And they're switching guys on him too. This time it was Ryan Davidson on him, who is an all-elite, all-pro corner in this game, and there was just way too much space. He stepped back way too far, almost in a soft zone, and that's what's kind of hurting Florida right now, is this soft zone, and they're just hitting these open holes, this Lexington pass game.
115 receiving yards for Manning in the first quarter. We're not even 3/4 the way through the first quarter. Slider looking to throw here at the goal line, wide open. Touchdown, easy as you like, Alexander West.
Yeah, nobody in that back end of the end zone. All the Florida defenders were most so focused on the front side. They were looking for short in routes, and it just didn't work. Man, this Lexington pass game has been clicking on all cylinders, and Florida's had no response to it so far. My goodness, what a way to kick off your second half of the season by taking it to Florida. Not even 7 minutes in, Tyler.
4th touchdown of the season for Alex West. He's already on a career high. He had only 3 receiving touchdowns come in a couple seasons past for his first 2 seasons. Now he has 4 here in season 24 as Lexington take a 14-0 lead.
Tyler, 152 yards in 6.5 minutes. That is elite offensive work from Lexington.
It is absolutely brutal right now as Florida have yet to muster a single yard, though they've only had one drive. Giffis on the return here again, and he is taken down to the 22-yard line. And right now, if I'm Florida, there's got to be alarm bells here early because we've been unable to move the football, and Lexington is torching our defense.
Yeah, one 3 and out, and Lexington has taken advantage of the situation at hand with the kickoff to start things off, and then with their second drive. They've been immaculate so far. Florida needs to respond.
Blitz coming. Cochran overshoots his intended target, still a little rusty.
Yeah, and that was a clear rustiness throw, about 3 or 4 yards over his target, and maybe the coaching staff is really looking at that 196 that Cochran needs to get to surpass Julian Tyree and said, hey, green light for you, my friend, but right now, he's starting off this game 0-4.
Give us the intended target in the last play as Cochran looked left side, first catch. There's one of his favorites. Oh, what a spin move! And down the sideline, taken down to the 44-yard line. Hello, Cochran finds Stephen Bush.
You know what helps stagnation, Tyler? An explosive play. And Cochran finds the right man, Stephen Bush, open hole on the left side, and a brilliant spin move to get past a diving tackler, Nate Heslip, and keeps pushing forward into enemy territory. Probably the remedy that Florida has needed all quarter.
A patented Chris Berman. What? Right there. Pass middle. Ooh, good catch from Giffis. Had to do a quick little hop to haul that in for 7 yards as we introduce you to the Lexington Miner defense. Chris Andrews, Bridget DeMoro, Mike Mello, and Jaden Swift are the defensive linemen with Iggy Turner, Philadelphia Collins, and Tony Roberto at outside linebacker with David Ware field generating at middle linebacker. Nate Heslip, Jay Rock, Cameron Shaw, the corners with Marco Swift and Travis Arthur at safety. Offset eye handoff for the middle. First run of the game is going to go for a good amount of yards, so about the 26-yard line. It's the fullback, Chris Comasack.
Yeah, this is what they need to establish, that run game, and Comasack's probably one of the best fullbacks in this game. You got to hand that baby off. You got to use his power to push through for those yardages, mix in a little bit of Bullet Boletsky, and you got yourself a perfect run plan. Now that Cochran's got that, that composure back with 2 straight completions, it's good to get that run game going.
4-3 look out of Lexington here as we tick under the 2-minute mark. Handoff, Boletsky out of 1, but stood up after a short pickup.
Yeah, and Boletsky trying to power through that congested gap area and just couldn't figure it out. Got 3 yards out of it. Might have worked better on a stretch, but they'll still take the 3 yards.
3 down linemen, but 8 men in the box here for Lexington as Ron Cochran of the Florida offense stack everybody in. Quick flip out near side. Comasack out of 1. Off the sideline. Good little move inside the 10. First and goal, Florida.
Yeah, you look at a man like Comasack, all 6'4", 240 of him, and you think to yourself, he's not going to be really shifty. He's just going to be that powerhouse. But, sometimes when you need him to be, he can kind of squirm his way around, act like a tube of butter, and just slide his way through if he needs to. That's just a great catch and run.
Ron Cochran and the Storm just 8.5 yards away from pay dirt for their first points of the game. Cochran, handoff, Boletsky through the middle, spin move, but ripped down just a few yards shy of the end zone.
I like that play from Florida. Not often in this league do you see a handoff on shotgun. Most of the time it's more so the running back being your protector in the pocket. So it's good to get that, little misdirect play and give Boletsky an opportunity to get a run.
Offset eye in the direction of the weak side, handoff middle, but Lexington is there with the stop. Good tackle by the middle linebacker, David Ware, and it's 3rd and goal.
Yeah, big opportunity for Lexington to prevent any major damage from this drive. Now that Florida's starting to, heat up themselves. So if they can get this stop on 3rd and goal, this is going to speak volumes to this game.
Just inside the 1-yard line. Power v. power here in this situation. Final play of the quarter, handoff, Komisek timing, he didn't get it! Again, the linebacking core for Lexington showing up, but it's David Ware again as we hit the end of the first quarter. Florida will attempt a field goal to get that donut off the board. It's currently Lexington 14, Florida 0. And we welcome you back here to the Quarry here in Lexington. I'm Tyler Falk alongside Brett Solberg here in the booth. Special shout out to Josh Durr and Ron Haynes of the Stats Truck, and of course our SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine providing production for us this evening. As Ethan Sneed's short little chip shot is up and good, and Florida on the board with 3 points. That is 14-3.
Yeah, and let's talk about someone that we've seen for a long time as well. Ethan Sneed now career field goal number 284. Still a little bit away from Shark Tarkington, but I think Tarkington's kind of had the seasonal advantage over him. So Ethan Sneed, another elite kicker, probably a future Hall of Famer himself.
And here comes Gabriel Manning on this return, trying to go straight through the teeth of the special teams unit, and he is brought down at the 29-yard line. And so out comes Lexington, and my, oh my, what does this defense for Florida got to do? They've run a lot of shallow zone, and Lexington's been able to burn them.
I think the easy switch would be man-to-man. Just focus on, guy covering on guy, especially when you have dual threats like Manning and West, who have had their time with them. They had their play with them so far.
The wideout's right. Slider hands off. Phoenix Jones with great blocking in front of him, and he plows forward for 9 yards.
Yeah, and that's just what Lexington needs to do as well. I've talked about wanting to get that run game more established. A good stretch run from a guy like Phoenix Jones. Not the same player that he was back in his days in Arizona, but still a great talent to have nonetheless. Great 9.5-yarder.
Two tight ends right to wideouts left. They'll run with the wideouts left side. That's a first down for Deion James.
And it's good to establish that run. They've got a good lead going right now. 11 points is pretty good, especially when you've been slated as 7.5-point dogs in this matchup provided by Jack's data. Right now, Lexington wants to establish that time of possession. Florida took 3.5 minutes to get to that end zone, and now Lexington has his ball back.
Split backfield, and Weller's on the top of Jack's data. We'll get to that here in just a moment. Handoff for, Jones again with another 9-yard pickup. That 41.5 point is the over-under, and we have a friend here in the league here, Brett. Mark Lopez. He comes up with these bingo cards every once in a while, and right now, one of the squares says the over wins in Lexington in Florida. Well, they're right on pace to hit the over at the moment.
Yeah, and Lexington's doing well on that front.
And another good blocking. Just, Brett, talk about the linemen on that pull stretch, getting over there to really help set the edge.
Any inside run that you want to establish as an offense, you want to have a proper gap. And that was just excellent work for the linemen to push, not only open that gap, but to push forward as well.
But backfield handoff straight up the gut. Jones, 5 yards, maybe slowing down just a little bit here on this drive.
And they're okay with slowing things down. Right now, it has been all Deion James and all Phoenix Jones through this drive, and I don't mind this. They've been pass happy to start off this game. It was pass happy first quarter, 11 passes for Slider, and now they're starting to run this football.
Jones run, James run, James run. First down, 6 yards. Wash, rinse, repeat. Lexington on the move.
It's all about catching Florida off guard. All first quarter, they did a lot of passing. Now we're establishing in this drive in the second quarter, we're going to run this baby down your throat, and you are going to like it. And right now, Florida needs to, establish some backbone and push back.
Offset eye behind Slider. They'll run again. Jones, left side, swims through some defenders, picks up 4 yards this time around.
And just the blocking. Just on this drive alone, this offensive line has just said to themselves, hey, if you want to push forward through the run and, get this drive and slow this game down, we are glad to do it.
Hand off James, and this time Florida is ready. One Mississippi on the tackle, and this is the first third down of the drive.
Yeah, I was just going to say, first third down that we've seen on this drive, I was going to say in a long time, but right now, Lexington has been pretty good on these third downs. I think this is their shortest third down situation in this game.
They're 4 for 4 on third down, make them 5 for 5. One of the best performances I've seen on third down through this point in any game so far in this young SFL season.
9 plays in this drive. All 9 of them have been runs. And you know what's interesting about this, Tyler? They haven't gone to one specific style of run. We have seen stretch runs, we've seen a toss, we've seen some inside runs, we've seen some weak, we've seen some strong.
This one also taking a good chunk of time off the clock. Already over 4 minutes. Here's a toss near side. Deion James turned back inside after a short gain of 2.
And at this point, if you're Florida, you've got to key in on whoever is that back man in Lexington's backfield. You've got to focus on where he's going. Almost have that middle linebacker act as a spy.
Phoenix Jones now with this call. A hurdle, and he's thrown down. There'll be another third down upcoming here, and maybe Florida, with a little bit less room to work with, can really tighten up some corners here.
Yeah, and right now, this middle gap has been working really well for Lexington. Doesn't need to be, 9 yards every play, but, these 3 to 4 yarders, they're starting to get Florida tired.
First pass of the drive is caught by Gabriel Manning inside the 5. First and goal, Lexington.
Again, I state this point earlier in the drive. Catch them off guard. 11 straight runs. Sooner or later, you're going to pass that football. You find the man who is white hot right now, despite wearing the gray uniforms and not the white ones, and Manning gets it done again. First and goal.
Look at the total number of yards that Lexington has. That's another check mark off the bingo card. This is over a 5-minute drive.
There's some teams that aspire to have 218 in a game, Tyler.
And off right side, great blocking, easy touchdown for Phoenix Jones, second of the night.
And just when you thought that they couldn't top themselves after 2 fantastic drives in the first quarter, how about 13 plays and 70 yards, most of it being runs just to get to the end zone, switching up that philosophy entirely in between quarters, get down the field, catch them off guard, get the score. Lexington's cruising.
Field extra point is up and good. 5 minutes, 33 yards of pure run. A beautiful drive for Lexington. It's now 21-3. The 2025 SFL Convention kicks off the league's 25th anniversary season, July 10th through the 14th. Join SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency, looking out into Baltimore's Inner Harbor. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net. Caleb Giffis, meanwhile, takes a knee in his own end zone, and so Florida will go to work at their own 20-yard line here for this drive. Now, they did get points last time around. Here, Brett, looking for more here.
And Florida needs to, eat up some clock, because right now they've only had the ball for less than 4 minutes in this game.
And off right side, Beletsky trying to stretch it out, but he is taken down after a gain of 4 that time around. It brings up 2nd and 6.
I do want to bring up a point, Tyler. That last drive from Lexington, 5 minutes, 33 seconds. Almost the same amount of time that they spent on the 2 drives in the first quarter.
Blitz coming. Cochran looking for a screen, but Lexington read that one very well, and they got to Cochran before he could set and throw.
And it's been a rough first half for Cochran so far, just 3 of 8. He finally got, a little bit going on that last drive, but it's almost, a contrast in that offensive line. The protection's not there for Florida.
5-man blitz. Cochran firing middle, caught. Stephen Bush, one of only 2 receivers from Florida that have caught a pass tonight. And it's a first down.
And the more important thing, Tyler, they got their first third down conversion of the game as well. They need to get that monkey off their back too after being 0 of their last 3. So getting that pass, Stephen Bush, again, you talk about placement of where your wide receivers are going to be. You either want to have them with enough space ahead of the corner, or you want to get them in front. Those are the 2 ways that you want to get open and get those targets. Great work from Bush to get open.
Try and go to the run game here with Beletsky, and he's blown up after a pickup of 4.
And right now, Florida knows that at this moment, they can't really compete with Lexington in terms of the pass game, so they've got to trust in that run game to be established. And they're doing okay right now with the 7 carries of 29 yards. They just need to get something explosive, just break through.
Handoff near side, backup tailback. James Bettis only gets a yard as David Ware, who's been a man in fine form, might I add here, Brett, comes up with another tackle.
Yeah, and that's a dangerous guy to get hot as well. This time on the defensive side, David Ware, you get an opportunity, he will get a fumble loose.
Blitz coming. Cochran couldn't say it. He's on the turf. Lexington will force a punt. Berto Demora.
And man, the wide range, the wide run that Demora had to make to get past Randy Fatt III was a task all in itself, and the reward comes in with a nice juicy sack on the board to get Florida off the field offensively. Great work from Berto Demora.
Four and a half sack of the season for Demora. Early flag incoming. Manning unable to make a return out of it. They're going to call block in the back. And they're going to call that on Florida. So this happened before the punt. That's incredible. I've never seen that here this season. As we hit the 2-minute warning, it's all Lexington. 21-3. And they're on offense to try and get something going. Well, they're going to force another punt.
Yeah, this makes it 4th and 28.
That's surprising. Well, I mean, it saves them from having to be way backed up in their own territory.
Mm-hmm.
So Agrippa will punt this one again. And Manning this time tries to field it from his 37 and brings it up for 3 yards. So a bit better field position, but a little bit less time to work with on the clock. And if Lexington's going to try to keep this ball the rest of the half, they're in a real good spot to do so. And they have the offense that's been clicking so far on all cylinders tonight.
And you know what scares me about this is that Lexington can approach this from any way, because both that run and that pass game have been electric in this first half.
Quick hitter slider. Looking for Manning in double coverage and just a bit too high.
Yeah, a bit too high and a little bit dangerous. Like you said, double coverage, one in front and one behind the receiver as well. So you got to be careful with passes like that. You have to hit them right at an exact spot. Sometimes it's hard to find, but with these quarterbacks, they've been pretty good with that. But yeah, got to be more careful with that throw.
Pass middle. There's Manning. And that's why Slider went back to him, because he didn't hit him the first time, but he knows Manning can climb the ladder.
And already 9 targets out of these 14 throws in this game from Slider. You can see that he's going back to his favorite target, the one that he's been targeting to that led to Manning's MVP campaign just a few seasons ago. And right now, Manning's back to MVP form.
Off left side, out of a tackle, Deion James, and he nearly broke a third. They'll credit him with a yard. Timeout incoming.
And yeah, and I would suspect that Lexington's going to use those timeouts to make sure that they have every opportunity possible to get some points on the board. They do. I would say it's on the fringes of field goal range. I know Takeda Yuki's hit from 43. This is really a little bit further than that, but they want to get safety net. I'm guessing they're still looking for 6.
What's coming from the outside? Slider near side. Caught Alex West on the run out of a tackle, and he's in to score again. Lexington pouring it on, a point away from 28-3.
I think the one thing that Mark Lopez should have put on the bingo board was nearly 280 yards of offense in the first half from Lexington. My goodness, I don't think anybody would have had that on their bingo card if they even tried, but I'm starting to become speechless on how potent, how electric this Lexington offense has been in this first half.
Snap, spot, kick is up. And it's now officially 28-3 and a quick drive from Lexington, who completely flipped the script on me. They were running the football all the last drive, and they start airing it out, and they get Alex West for a big score. Kickoff will be taken down back of the own end zone for a touchback, a 36-yard pass officially from our statisticians Ron Haynes and Josh Dewar. So here comes Florida with it all to do.
You know, running might be out the window at this point with a 28-3 game. I know that's the cursed name and the cursed scoreline in sports, but man.
I wasn't going to say it, but you did as Cochran looks middle. There's Ron Haynes. Tight end version of Ron Haynes, not statistician Ron Haynes, though they are the same. That one's caught. First down, timeout, Florida.
You think Ron Haynes has like one of those armbands that he can just electronically add the stats in, and that's the way he, kind of, plays while does stats? Like he's already done like 79 games this season on stats. It's crazy.
I was gonna say he's got something. Maybe he's got a temporal implant that's like, all right, that was how many yards? All right, cool. Let's add to that, and we'll just get back here on the field and run this next play. Blitz coming, pass right side. That one also caught by Haynes. Another first down.
And then you hear right by him, boop, 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 11 yards. Cool, got it.
Jeez, and he's just chipping away. First two catches of the game for Ron Haynes. Had two previous targets. Was unable to haul either attempt. Three wide again with Haynes on the line. Flip out near side.
Oh,
that
goodness.
One ruled a fumble, and it's picked up. A scoop. Porto Demora trying to outrun Ron Cochran.
No
and he's
way.
taken down at the 4-yard line. We might see a challenge, though. That looked maybe a little bit forward, but for now, it's Lexington football.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking that might be a little bit more forward. I was completely caught off guard, but Ron Cochran,
that angle,
wildly throws it to Boletsky. No chance of him getting through, but now going through the replay, Lexington has a legitimate case here, and they might be able to get more points on the board.
The 5, everything inside 2 minutes has to be booth reviewed, and so it stands.
Wow.
First and goal from the 5 for Lexington. Blitz coming, slider incomplete. Looking for Manning for touchdown 100.
Tyler, at this point, I think Lexington's looking for blood at this point. They have smelt it in the waters, and they're making sure that they go for the jugular. Like, right now, I don't mind this game plan at all from Lexington, because this is a team that we don't know what version comes to this field, and right now, they are bringing out their best version that we have seen, not just this season, but in years.
Slider rolling, looking middle, almost caught. Incomplete, looking for the fullback, Lars Bazar.
This might be something where Lexington just has to trust in a stretch run maybe, or a toss play, and get to the end zone. I know that you love to get those passing touchdowns in terms of, the pass to rush touchdown discrepancy, but my goodness, and Lexington's really going for the jugular with the pass here on the 5.
2 DBs near side on Alex West. Only 1 DB I see far side with Gabriel Manning. Now they're going to overload that side. DBs are in the wrong area of the field. 3rd and goal from the 5. Slider going to throw, looking left side. That's an easy cut. Touchdown. My goodness. Alex Jackson. Lexington running away with it.
Tyler, that's now all 3 contracted Lexington wide receivers with touchdowns. in this game. You had Manning on the first one, then you got Alex West on that catch and score, and then Alex Jackson. You said it perfectly, Tyler. DB's in the wrong spot, staying in a zone. Basically a 3-on-1 situation, and you know who's going to win that. 34 first half points for Lexington. Unbelievable stuff.
Alex West with 2 touchdowns. Gabe Manning still looking for touchdown 100. And that's Alex Jackson's first career touchdown. And it comes as Lexington pouring on an avalanche onto the Storm.
This is unbelievable. I don't think we had any thought of this. Not 35 first half points by any team. We weren't sure if the over-under was going to be hit. Already at 38 points in this first half. This has been a wild 20 minutes.
Another kickoff, and this time it will be returned. Trying to shake and bake is Art Vandelay. He's taken down at the 26-yard line. 33 seconds to go, and a half from hell for Florida.
Like, man, you said exactly, a half from hell. This is something that they probably want to forget for the for the rest of their lives, essentially. Basically, they almost have to reset everything and change up their game plan entirely to compete in the second half because they have been shut down.
Cochran will roll, blitz coming, looking middle. Whoa, there's Ron Haynes. That's a catch. First down. Just again, we look at the numbers, and that pass finally going to help run. Cochran took over 100 yards. He's now about 80 yards now from becoming the #1 quarterback in SFL history in terms of passing yards, but it just hasn't been the night he would have expected to get it. 4-man rush, pass near side. That's caught. Art Vandelay, 9.5 yards. Now Florida got to go. They have no timeouts. Officially 124 for Cochran.
Yeah, touchdown or bust on this drive.
Spike, 17 seconds to go. No timeouts. Have to hit a corner or an out to get out of bounds and double their points. Get something positive out of this half.
Yeah, and looking at the formation, it's going to be an eye of some sort. I wonder how many receivers are going to have out. That's a designed run.
Linebacker shifting middle. No, Cochran going to throw. He's going to try and look for the tight end. Got to the 35-yard line.
They can't stay in this formation. They have to spike it.
They will at the 35. 5 seconds to go from the 35-yard line. They will trot out Cochran one more time. They're not going to try a field goal. They're going to try and go for a touchdown here.
Well, at this point, this would be from 51 from Snead, and that's not guaranteed nowadays.
In a dome stadium, though, Cochran airing it out. It is caught by Bush at the 5, but he will go no further. Lexington finish off the half with a 32-point lead.
My goodness, Tyler. Just it's something that we didn't think we were going to see tonight, and Lexington has just given Florida such a rough time. Yes, Florida has decent yardage. Anybody would be happy with 186 first half yards, but you know what's better than that? How about 287 with 212 of that being passing yards, and Kenny Slider acting like he did, in the first couple weeks of the season when he had that 5 touchdown performance. He's at 3 already. There are quarterbacks in this league that dream to have 212 passing yards in a game, and he just casually does it in a half. This passing offense has been on fire. Yes, it has been mostly one-sided in the form of 144 Gabriel Manning yards, but the damage has been done through 2 Alex West touchdowns and an Alex Jackson touchdown at the 5-yard line to end the half. But my goodness, Lexington has put things in gear 5 and has not let go.
Let's take a well-deserved break presented by Brakes GPT. We'll be right back.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
An Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady. Brady.
Break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Breaks GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Breaks GPT offers you the shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on our Breaks GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on our site, breaksgpt.com. As we're back underway, Tyler Falk and Brett Solberg here on the call. Ron Haynes and Josh Durr back in the stats truck, and SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine in production as Caleb Gippus gets the opening half kickoff up to past the 20, and that is where Ron Cochran, who now sits 30 yards away officially from becoming the league's all-time passing leader.
And all I can say for Florida, forget about that first half. Play your game and get that momentum back on your side. Any ounce of momentum, and Florida can, definitely make this a game.
Cochran looking underneath for Vandelay, and that's incomplete.
An interesting thing that we do have to note, Tyler, we haven't seen any carries from Art Vandelay in this game either. They're kind of, shifting away from that, and it might be more so to focus on getting some more passing options for Cochran to get that record.
All right, formation here for the Storm. 3-3 nickel look out of Lexington. Cochran, deep draw pass is deflected away. Two defenders seem like they got their hands on it. We'll get our first game break from SFL headquarters. Back to Cameron Irvine in the studio.
Thank you, Tyler. Nashville going for their first win of the season tonight. So far, so good. Tino Sosa with the touchdown run from 2 yards out. And Nashville leads Queen City 14-7 early in the second. Back to you.
Green and gold versus the green and black. Thank you, Cam. Blitz coming again. Cochran looking middle. Bush is there for a gain of 13 and a first down.
And it's a good throw from Cochran too. He put some extra zip on that guy to make sure that Bush could get to that ball too. So, because when you're ahead of a defensive back, you want to make sure that there's no time for the defensive back to get on pace. So great work from Cochran just to zip that one through.
Cochran looking to throw again. That's caught by Haynes. Haynes on the move. Haynes picks up more than 17. That's the new SFL record for Ron Cochran.
And, it hasn't been a lot of bright things in this game for Florida, but they can at least take away the fact that they've given Cochran the opportunity to surpass Julian Tyree, get him all alone in the yards marker. Congratulations to Mr. Ron Cochran, Riverboat Ron, on top of the SFL world.
The only other record that stands in his way is Matt Wilson passing touchdowns. Oh, good move from Cochran. That one passed over the middle. Flag comes in. Might this be PI? It is on Lexington. Florida move closer to the end zone.
Now we're starting to push a little forward in that momentum train for the Storm, and that's probably just what the doctor ordered to start off this half. And yeah, that one, a little ticky-tacky maybe for some people, but Travis Arthur definitely impeding the route. That is a 1st and 10 coming up for Florida.
To come back from double ammonia and to get the record. Well done. I tip my flat cap to you, sir. 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. And I did it my way. Cochran looking, end zone, touchdown, Vandelay. Hello, Florida get their first touchdown of the game.
Tyler, putting your vocals on as that happened, and surprisingly, and shouldn't be shocking at all that Cochran decides to throw his way to Vandelay Bay over to the end zone to kind of get to that singing kind of reference. Gets on the board. More importantly, Florida getting points to start off this half. That's got to be a breath of fresh air for them.
Extra points up and good. Florida finally with double-digit points tonight. 35-10 down still by a couple scores, but every journey back begins with a single step. Heck, the Minnesota Vikings came back from 33 down. Why can't Florida? Here comes Manning on the return, just a few yards inside his own end zone, and he's dropped at the 23-yard line. Well, I gotta say there, Brett, if you didn't put a like on the video for what Rod Cochran did, I don't know what you're doing. History was made tonight, so please smash that like button and subscribe to VFN if you haven't already. Make sure you've got notifications on so you won't miss a minute of SFL and SFLM action, and help VFN grow through your support. Lexington will start this drive. Oh, what a hit from Phoenix Jones, just running through tacklers.
Yeah, and Phoenix Jones used to be a speed back in the day, and then over the seasons, we've seen him build more muscle, we've seen him get more power, and man, if that doesn't exemplify Phoenix Jones' power, I don't know what does.
Slider changing up things on the line. Two tight ends left. They'll try and run that direction. Out of one is Deion James. And my goodness, it's that extra effort tonight from both of Lexington's backs that have really propelled them out to this lead.
And you're talking about almost 100 yards of rushing between these two as well. Jones leading the way unofficially with 61 on the board for him. But man, this Lexington offense all around has been fantastic tonight.
Try and run again. They again use one of the guards to pull around and help Phoenix Jones gain 7.
And the thing is that they're not doing anything that's out of the ordinary. They're just switching things up. They're not sticking to the same kind of run plan. They're not sticking to the same kind of passing routes. You're seeing, variety. You're seeing difference from Lexington's offense. So Florida has to kind of guess where they're going to each and every play.
Another run. This time it's James through the middle. Another Lexington first down. They seemingly cannot be stopped tonight.
It's right now that run game can't be stopped, and it's got to give 1,000% credit to the offensive line to not only give the gap to the run game, but to make sure that Slider stays clean in the pocket for the pass opportunities.
Spread the field now, giving Florida yet another look to try and plan for. Blitz coming, run by Jones, and he got stuck behind his own lineman. That allows Florida to clean that up for a no gain.
And that's probably the first positive thing that we've seen from Florida in a while defensively. I don't think they have, tackles for loss on the board. That probably should have been listed as one despite the no gain. But now a 2nd and 10 might change things up for Lexington's game plan here on this 2nd down.
Coverage backed off a little bit. Manning there on the outside. Looking underneath, though, caught and moving upfield. Gain of 7 for Manning on a quick little slant.
Yeah, and he just continues to pile the numbers up further, and he's obviously becoming the leading receiver, and that's got to be someone that Florida might have to double cover throughout the rest of the game.
155 now officially as the pitch, right side stiff arm and tackled short of the line. That's the first 3rd down stop of the game for the Storm.
Yeah, and maybe 8 times the charm for Florida's defense to finally get a stop on them. Lexington got all their first 7 3rd downs converted, and now for the first time in this game, Lexington forced to punt this football away. Is the momentum starting to shift a little bit in favor of the Storm?
Fair catch called for by Vanderlee at his own 16-yard line. That is where Lexington will come onto the field. And if you're watching the Simulation Football League here on the Virtual Football Network, this week it's SFL tonight, Sunday. It's SFL tonight through Sunday. The UFL is back Monday and Tuesday. SFLM action returns Thursday, and SFL Week 9 kicks off next Friday with Mike and Gerald at 7:45 p.m. Eastern, right here on an exciting week of VFN. Gain of 1 there on first down.
Yeah, but what are we doing Wednesday and then Thursday and then next Sunday? Like, what's going on here, Tyler? All these days of the week are so confusing.
They're just all over the place. Cochran looking middle. That one's picked off. Back the other way. And it's going to be Lexington football on the 22-yard line. Cameron Shaw holds in the air.
You know, Tyler, I just shouldn't have said anything at all. I said, oh, maybe the tides are shifting. Maybe momentum swinging Florida's way. And then Cochran throws, oh, no, just a pick in double coverage to Cameron Shaw. And that's been one of those nights for Florida. And, you know, again, just got to forget about it. Got to trust in the defense to do something. Lexington could almost consider this a 20-yard arm punt.
Number 41 for Mr. Number 41. Cameron Shaw's 41st career interception and 3rd on the season. He now leads the Lexington Miner crew this season in terms of total interceptions. Run left side. Phoenix Jones, that gains 7.
Man, Jones has looked pretty sharp here tonight. He's averaging close to 5 yards a carry. And again, those open lanes that the offensive line has given Jones has been, you know, second to none tonight.
The run right side, Deion James spinning out of 1, but then gang tackled by a trio of defenders, landed him out. Odom there with the tackle.
Landing on him. That's the defensive line needs to really start, you know, shoring things up. I know we've seen Florida kind of spread that line a lot in this game, but it hasn't worked out so much. Maybe they need to pinch together, perchance.
All right, formation here as Bennett goes out of the backfield, and another 3rd down stop by Florida. They're starting to really wall up, and they're going to try and force a Lexington field goal now here on 4th down.
And I think it's finally, with, you know, close to 3.5 minutes in this 3rd quarter, they're starting to figure out where Lexington's going to run on certain scenarios. We've seen the stretch run a couple times, and now it just doesn't work out for them.
Field goal is up and good. And so Lexington 38, Florida 10. They lead by 28. And how about that something? Alex West is right. 7.5-point dogs at home. They've really flipped the script on everybody tonight.
Yeah, basically saying to Hunter Norwood and company, hey, we might look like dogs, but we put the bite into the Florida Storm tonight.
Or they took a pickaxe to him. Well, I'm glad they didn't lay on Trotsky, Florida. They didn't take an ice pick, but still, it's been a very rough night for Florida. Still plenty of football, though. 13.5 minutes to go. And Florida's got to figure something out, and they have to start getting on the move and getting on the move quick, down by 4 scores.
You know, and everything's really struggling right now. Even the run game that they have wanted to establish in this contest, it just hasn't worked out for them yet.
And off near side, Beletsky looking for the corner. He's taken down after a gain of 7. First meeting between these two franchises with Lexington, now known as Lexington. They've had a few matchups before when they were back over in Tulsa. And all the way back in season 20 was the first time that the now Lexington franchise took down Florida. And that was in Florida. Right now they're having a good day at the office. They'll get to Comisac that time, David Ware, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, and that's the kind of play you don't want to have Chris Comisac doing, because he's not the fastest of fullbacks. I think he's probably middle of the road in that front. You want to use him as a bruising guy that just pushes forward.
Heavy look out of the Storm. You're on 3rd and short. They'll try and run weak side with Comisac, and again they try to stretch it out. To your point there, Brett. Cameron Shaw and company, we're reading that one, and we're just a bit too fast.
Yeah, and that might be something as a design play for Beletsky, but it's not going to work out for Comisac because he just doesn't have that same speed. And if you want to have that stretch run, you want to have speed first over power.
Hunt is away from Agrippa. Here comes Manning on the return. He gets all the way up to the 35 and no further. And this is where Lexington will take over. It's been that kind of a night, but let's just take a look again. Back against these two teams, and For the longest while, Florida had the number in the first 4 meetings of this club, and this is the first meeting for the two teams since season 20.
And just, kind of looking through here, like you said, season 18, they probably are looking back to that. The Florida Storm slapped the then Tulsa Desperados 48-17. And this was at Florida as well. So this might be a little bit of revenge from even, close to 3 years ago.
Wouldn't it be something as Phoenix Jones gets tackled behind a line for a loss if Lexington put up the same score line as Florida put up on them? Because right now
we're getting pretty close.
Right now, all Lexington needs is a touchdown and field goal, and all Florida needs is just another touchdown. And off middle, Jones trying to bounce it around his blockers. He gains a couple. I'll bring up third down, and this third down defense for Florida, 2 straight third down stops. Maybe they can get another one here.
And it was from runs as well from Lexington. It'll be interesting to see if they go with a run one more time. They do have their quad set out, so maybe they're going to go for pass. I'd be highlighting Gabriel Manning wherever he is on the field.
And those last 2 third downs there, partner, they were third and shorts, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. This one a bit more longer, and so Slider will go back to pass, rolling, stepping up, and trying to get it himself. Then he does take off and run. So it turns out to be a QB run, maybe undesigned, but it's the 3rd straight third down stop for the Storm.
Yeah, and that was Slider. He got close to that first down, but saw Genkel get pretty close to him, so he was forced to slide behind the line. He definitely wanted that first down. But Florida's getting the ball back again.
Punt is away. This will be returnable by Vandalay. He gets out of 1, but then is brought down at the 24-yard line with 50 seconds to go here in this third quarter. And what really hasn't been going for Florida is, well, they had to punt, and it was a little bit more than 3 minutes to go. Now there's not a whole lot of time left to go.
And, you look at the stat lines, throughout this game. Cochran's done pretty all right, all things considered. 13 of 22, 219, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. That's kind of what you want to get out of it. My concern, though, is that they've only ran the ball 11 times compared to their 22 passes, which is a little bit unorthodox to a Florida play style.
Pitch left side for Boletsky. David Ware folding him up after only 3 yards. And like you said, maybe they wanted to get Cochran more involved with the passing game today, and the run game is just not clicking.
Yeah, and it's not that they were forced into the passing scenario. They started off the hop by passing in this game, so they've kind of just stuck with the same plan.
5-man rush, pass middle. It's off the hands of Cameron Shaw, and it could have been picked up by a trailing defender, but instead it falls incomplete. It brings up another third down.
Yeah, and it's going to be another passing down for Cochran, and you've got the targets available. Bush has been probably your best target in the game so far in the form of 89 yards through 4 receptions. I'd be looking at him. I think he's on the top of the screen, but Ron Haynes ain't too far behind with his 66 yards.
They are 2 for 6 on third down tonight. Cochran looking middle. That is incomplete, nearly picked up. Travis Arthur now has had 2 almost picks, but the result is the same. 2 incompletions, and this one results in a 4th down.
And what scared me a little bit is the sliding Nate Heslip to get that interception as well. And Lexington would have had fantastic field position to maybe run this down the gut and get some more points, but Florida will punt this away.
Fair catch called for inside his own 30-yard line. Gabriel Manning, easy catch. 10 seconds to go here in the third quarter, and this game that really started out hot for Lexington, 35 points in the first half, only 3 to speak of in the second half because, well, Florida's defense, they got a little bit of coaching, it seems, back in the old locker room, and they've really nullified any sort of passing attack from Slider.
And to be fair, I don't think they really care about passing all that much right now.
Well, you're probably right, with Slider over or close to 300 yards passing in the first half, only under 50 here in the third quarter as we hit the quarter break. 38-10, Lexington out in front. 4 is up in chat. 1 more quarter to play. Stay tuned. This is the SFL on VFN. I'm Tyler Falk. He's Brett Solberg. Again, another fantastic night for our statisticians, Ron Haynes and Josh Duer. Cameron Irvine, SFL League Commissioner, is producing, and glad to have your company here on Friday night. Happy weekend to all of you that have a traditional work week. Phoenix Jones, wow, what a step arm up the sideline. Phoenix Jones up the sideline. 20 plus yards for Phoenix Jones. Finally breaks one open.
Yeah, and as much as I talked about him beefing up, there's still that agility, that quickness, that change of direction that Phoenix Jones has in that body of his. And looking at the replay there, he was pretty close to hitting out of bounds earlier on there. They might push it back if they want to challenge, but I'm not sure at the state of this contest they'll be thrown one. We haven't seen one yet, but nonetheless, Phoenix Jones, dangerous guy, and on that front for the run plays, like I said earlier, Tyler, 10 of their last 11 plays have been runs.
24 yards for Jones, and here comes Deion James breaking out of one tackle, trying to replicate his teammate. Only 2 as Davidson's there on the stop.
Yeah, and I'd have to think since the start of this second half, Tyler, that Lexington's purely on chew clock mode and make sure that the fans go home happy with a comfortable victory, because all they've been doing in the second half is run.
The first home win against Florida in franchise history, and that one going for maybe one game. Jones maybe still a little tired from that 24-yard run earlier. That brings up third down, which has not been kind to Lexington. They're 0 of 3 here in the second half when they were 7 of 7 in the first half.
Yeah, and it's all because they had designed runs on third down. Now it's going to be another passing down.
Pass near side, and that's the first passing incompletion on third down. Looking for DJ Bain at the tight end. And that will result in another Lexington punt. 4 straight punts for the Miners.
Yeah, and as much as Phoenix Jones tried to will himself to field goal range, still a little bit outside. So Florida's going to be starting probably deep in their own territory if they can get themselves a good punt out of their punter there.
Kachiyuki's trying to pin him deep to the right-hand side. This one will be caught by Vandalay. Good little move up the sideline. He gets him out of their own red zone. So good return from Vandalay to get him better field position.
Yeah, and apologies to Yuki there, because I wanted to make sure I had the right first name and I wasn't saying Takeda Yuki, because I'm sure that he's not doing double duty. It is Itachi Yuki with the punt.
Well, I mean, you could be Charleston, have Cameron duty pulling double duty, but that's a lot of duties.
Or in Vancouver with chance to win doing double duty.
There you go. Pet run right side, nothing doing. Boletsky going to lose a yard on first down as Philadelphia Collins is there on the tackle. And, well, Florida, you're down by 28. Unfortunately for Boletsky, even that screenplay out to the right or left hasn't been working. There was a fumble by Cochran that nearly went back for 6. Ron Haynes has had a few of those tonight. Multiple one-handed catches. I'm actually going to give Ron Haynes the nice hands catch of the game for the catch from Ron Cochran that gave him the SFL record. So Ron Cochran gets our nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Get your Retroid handheld. Put a Retroid handheld console in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K 23. 2 wideouts left here for Cochran on his own 38-yard line. Good little run there from Boletsky, gaining 6 yards as the clock will run.
And yeah, well, that's what we haven't seen in this game from the run game is, those 4, 5, 6, 7 yard runs. They usually get stopped, at the line or maybe just a yard or 2. Like, those are the plays that you want to establish your run to start off the game, not to establish in the fourth quarter.
And for Comasec this time, going little to nowhere. Collins waiting with another stop. Him and David Ware have been a menace for these tailbacks for Florida.
Yeah, you've nailed it in the head here, Tyler, is that the linebackers have been absolutely dangerous throughout this game, and it's including guys like Tony Roberto, like Iggy Turner. David Ware has been the star of that set, though.
Cochran looking middle off the hands of Art Vandalay. That's a very uncharacteristic drop from Art. And it looks like, yes, Marcus Agrippa will trot out there to try and punt this one away.
It's also been an uncharacteristic game from Vandalay as well. 7 targets, only 2 receptions. It's been a struggle for Cochran to get him involved in the offense.
Punt is away from Agrippa. Good punt from Marcus as Gabriel Manning out of 1. It's all the way to the 18-yard line. There's more SFL action upcoming throughout all of Week 8 as it rolls on Sunday, headed by another big clash in the South. The 4-2 Bossier City Steamers take on the 3-2 Mexico City Aztecs at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Other matchups include Houston, Atlanta, Denver, Fort Worth, and Minnesota, Oklahoma City. All right here on the Virtual Football Network. Three wide as Lexington going to try and throw some more. Pass is nearly picked off. Good play by Daniel Wright.
Man, they're starting to look at Gabriel Manning and say to himself, "Hey, we got to get you some more yards. We want to double your season total. You're almost at 200, my friend. Let's get you some more yards."
Three more wide here for Lexington. Another pass blitz coming from off the edge, flip out near side. That's caught by Phoenix Jones, who goes nowhere, taken down at the line of scrimmage. And now, as we can see, this is what Florida's defense can do. If they were to just have this defensive scheme for first and second half, we're not talking about a 38-10 ball game. We're talking a 10-3 ball game where Florida's winning a close one.
Yeah, this is definitely not the script that Florida wanted in this, and Lexington just put the motor to them in the first half, and now we're starting to see the true Florida team.
Pass middle, caught on the run, Alex West. And that is why they're not winning, because Slider has been looking for the holes in the zone and finding his receivers.
Now, you nailed it again, Tyler. Man, you've been red hot with these calls here, but it's all about, the small pockets that zone defenses give you. And sometimes those holes can be wide open, and we've seen that a lot with Florida's zone defense, and Lexington has been just carving them up.
Run with Jones right side, Daniel White, and on the tackle after a pickup of 4, 5.5 minutes to go here in this final period from Lexington, Kentucky, here at the Quarry. And if the first half was the feast, this is a fan coma. There's just, for so long, Florida has been such a great team, and they still are a great team here in the SFL. But tonight, they are getting the better of them. That pass over the middle is caught. First down yardage for DJ Bandit. And you can just see it on the faces there of the Storm players. Beletsky unhappy with the performance of his team today, and Lexington all smiles.
Yeah, and Lexington just, put the pedal to the metal, didn't look back until, the second half, until they said to themselves, this is comfortable enough for me. And this second half has just been all chew clock mode, even with these passes.
Run to the right side. Phoenix Jones gets a good run. He gets 9.5 on first down. And it's just been a dangerous night. Well over 100 yards now for Phoenix.
Yeah, and another guy maybe struggling a little bit on the run game coming into this matchup has been Phoenix Jones. 19th in the league in rushing, 278, has averaged, just a little bit over 2.5 yards per carry coming into this game, but he's looked like the Phoenix Jones of old.
4.5 yards a carry here tonight. And for Deion James, the counter punch to this rushing attack, and he gains about 5 more here for Lexington. And right now, you can just, again, they're dancing in the stands. They're having a grand old time. It does look like this is the Jekyll version of the Lexington Minor Football Club, and the fans here wish that it would stay for very long. It does look like they will get off the 2-game skid and get back to winning ways for their 4th win of the season.
And it's a good way to get that too, because they'll be on a 2-game road trip starting next week, starting with Queen City and then following it up with a dangerous team like DC.
Both divisional matchups as Phoenix Jones rolls over Smith for a gain of 2. And after that, they come right back here to the quarry to take on the defending champion Mexico City Aztecs. And then they finally hit a bye week. And so it's Lexington's really going to be tough. And right now, Queen City, has also been more of a Jekyll and Hyde team. Last time we checked, they're playing a winless Nashville, and we're losing 14-7 at that point. As now we get an update, a field goal from Nashville midway through the third quarter. Over in that one, it is 14-10 Nashville in Tennessee. This run, Deion James left side, out of 1, shouldered down by Ian Francis. Just a yard shy of the line to game. So that game also going on. You can catch the conclusion of that game also right here on VFN. And meanwhile, for Florida, this bye week coming up for them next week, Brett, couldn't come at a better time.
Yeah, and it's been well documented, the struggles that Florida's had throughout this season. The 2-game coaching suspension that we saw earlier, that's kind of limited them to in terms of game planning. And then Cochran's been down because of the double pneumonia, and he's performed admirably here tonight. It's just Lexington was just that much better in this contest.
What he can hold his hat on is he now has the league record in terms of passing yards, surpassing Julian Tyree, and this will be a delay of game on Lexington. This will knock it back 5 yards, so an interesting twist in the tail. Things not all going to Lexington's plan with 2:07 left to go in the fourth quarter.
And it stops the clock too, so it benefits Florida a little bit, but nonetheless, it's another third down opportunity. Maybe they didn't like 3rd and 1. Maybe they are more comfortable with these 3rd and mediums, which Lexington have really carved up. I'd say again with that pickaxe of theirs throughout this game.
What do you say, Brett? 28 points in 2 minutes as Jones gets turned away at the own 20. We hit the 2-minute warning. Lexington 38 looking to seal out this football game over Florida 10. Out trots the Lexington field goal unit. One final time. Takeda Yuki on to attempt, by my rough calculation, maybe a 37-yarder from the right hash. Snap spot. Kick is up. It is good. 41-10. Our score now. Here in Lexington, the Miners are a very happy group of Miners. They don't have to sound any warning bells. It's been a very easy dig. They've probably found a couple of diamonds here tonight.
And going back to that season 18 game, same margin of victory right now, despite it not being the same score line. It's a 31-point game on both those games. Might be a little bit of nice medicine for Lexington.
This kickoff will be taken out of the end zone by Vandalay, trying to find a way forward. He's ripped down at the 24-yard line. And while we haven't seen him in the backfield, Florida still have tried to get Boletsky, who's been more of a receiving back here as of late. And I think the real catalyst to any sort of momentum to Florida really trying to run their style of game plan was that fumble in the 2-minute drill in the first half.
Yeah, just a very unorthodox misthrow from Cochran as well. Even after coming back from a couple weeks, that's got to be an easy connection to make. And, when the play happened, it was a little bit baffling. And now we're looking back at it, and that really just, basically took them right out of the game.
Ron Haynes, the man in motion over to the right-hand side. Final offensive drive potentially of the game here for Florida. Pass middle that is caught by Stephen Bush all the way up to about the 38-yard line. Florida will call their first timeout. Still trying to get some reps in for other types of game situations they might be involved in later this season that might involve them trying to come back and win this game.
Yeah, and they've got to start preparation early because even after that bye week, they're going to have 2 weeks to study Albuquerque coming up on March 7th, it looks like. That's the current slated time frame for when that game's going to be. And Albuquerque, probably one of the toughest teams in the league.
Currently, they were 5-2 coming into this week as Cochran looks right side on a corner route that is dropped. Giffis, more than likely, ball jarred free after the hit. It looked like Cochran had put that on a plate, but the defender was all blanketed all over him.
Yeah, and just looking at the Florida receivers, just, since the second half of that third quarter, it's felt like these wide receivers have just been fully dejected. Cochran's still trying to do his work, but and the receivers are doing their effort, but the emotion's kind of gone.
Pass middle, Stephen Bush caught for 9 yards. Another timeout by Florida. And this loss for the Storm will put them a game and a half behind rivals Carolina, while Lexington moves to within a game and a half of the North Division lead, which currently is held by Baltimore.
And just a half game back at DC, who are 4-2 at the moment.
Pull back, play action, flip out right side, and it's plays like that. Cameron Shaw all over Boletsky on the flip out. Nowhere to go, it's 4th and 1.
Yeah, very sharp work from Cameron Shaw tonight. So great work, not just getting the interception, but the play recognition from these defensive backs have been, outstanding. And that's what led to, the successful defense from Lexington.
Quick hitter middle, incomplete. Ball hits the turf. Philadelphia Collins in coverage. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Lexington will take over and ice this game.
No timeouts left. We should expect the victory formation to come in. Every team's favorite formation, unless you're Vancouver, who loves to run 5 wide in this scenario. But you gotta love, not just seeing this Lexington team. You want to see success from them, because you've seen so many instances where they've wanted to break through that glass ceiling but can't quite do it, and you see examples of them being such an elite team. And this game is definitely going to be one to remember in part of the Lexington locker room.
And I got more bad news, Brett. We were 1 away in 2 different ways for Mark's bingo card tonight. So there is no bingo for Florida and Lexington. We will try again next time we can get Mark's bingo card. But unfortunately, our bingo cards were not aligned tonight. Under a minute to go. Just seeing out the final game. Let's just talk stats here, and let's get people over to Nashville and Queen City as soon as this game ends here, Brett. So let's break down what happened tonight one final time for these wonderful fans.
Yeah, and this was all first half action from Lexington, and they basically cruised their way on here. Again, 287, count that, 287 first half yards. Most teams aspired to have that in a game, and I feels like I've said that a lot, but like I said, it's been an electric offense from Lexington. Blew Florida out of the water. It felt like Florida was 3 steps behind this entire game, and you kind of see the results out of it is the 31-point advantage out of this game, and more importantly, complete domination in the time possession. They're going to end up with nearly 26 minutes of possession time, and you don't see that in an SFL game. You don't see that dominance of time possession. They did so just like that, and now Lexington 4-3. That's the momentum that they need to carry moving forward in this second half of the season.
Ron Cochran becomes the league's all-time leader in passing yards, but he comes up short tonight, 41-10. Lexington on top of the Florida Storm. For Ron Haynes and Joshua Durr in stats, for SFL Commissioner Kevin Irvine back at SFL headquarters, and for my partner Brett Solberg, I'm Tyler Falk. This has been a presentation of the SFL on the Virtual Football Network. Go ahead and check out Queen City and Nashville. That game going into the 4th quarter. We will see you then, and more on Sunday. Can't wait to see you then. Until then, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
It's a 7-point game in Nashville. You better head on over right there. Bidoo.